Hello and welcome to BloombergQuint. You're joining us on this special broadcast where we're trying to explain what exactly happened at ABG Shipyard. Last week, the Central Bureau of Investigation filed an FIR against ABG Shipyard, five of its senior officials, ABG International, as well as certain unnamed public servants for a case of fraud. Now, according to the FIR complaint, which is available on the CBI website, this fraud has led to a direct loss of over 22,000 crore to a group of banks, actually 28 banks, which includes State Bank of India. Now, the FIR is based on a complaint filed by State Bank of India, and according to the bank, ABG Shipyard has indulged in four specific instances where either diversion or misappropriation of funds has happened, or criminal breach of trust has happened, because of which the bank was forced to file this complaint with the CBI. Let's try and understand what exactly these allegations are. The first allegation or the first instance where the company is said to have either diverted or misappropriated funds is the situation where about 1,415 crore worth of funds were transferred by ABG Shipyard to various vendors and associate companies, which was then round trip and then used back to repay ABG Shipyard's own dues. The second instance that is pointed out by State Bank of India is a case where ABG Shipyard has invested in securities issued by ABG Singapore, an overseas subsidiary. And according to a forensic audit by Ernst& Young, this money is likely to have been siphoned off out of the system, and that's why that was the second major allegation made by the banks. In a third instance, ABG Shipyard has transferred about 83 crore worth of funds to seven different companies. Now, the interesting part is that these companies are in certain ways related to ABG Shipyard as well as its own promoters, and this money was then used to buy properties by these seven companies, which was then never showed as part of ABG Shipyard's own fixed assets. So therefore, money was used from the company, but then the assets were never shown as part of the company's own asset pool. The fourth instance that is highlighted by the lenders is that of money being received in accounts outside the trust and retention account. Now, let's try and understand this a little bit better. Under any restructuring scheme, typically the lenders set up a trust and retention account. Now, all the money that is there with any kind of inflows into the company is held in this DRA account, and then so that lenders can, of course, always monitor how exactly the money is being used in the company. According to the allegation by State Bank of India, more than 54% of the customer receipts that ABG Shipyard has received, it has received in accounts outside this DRA arrangement, and that was a breach of at least the restructuring scheme that was implemented at ABG Shipyard. Now, remember that ABG Shipyard is a pretty old case actually. Since 2013, there has been stress in the company because of a global crisis in the shipping industry, and then in 2014, the lenders had invoked CDR, or the corporate debt restructuring, which did not really yield any success. Then later in December of 2015, they tried the strategic debt restructuring route, which gave them a little bit more time. However, there was no real positive impact of that for ABG Shipyard. Finally, in July of 2016, the banks had classified the account as NPA with backdated effect from November 2013. So all that period between November 2013 and July 2016 would be consumed within the NPA timeline. According to the complaint that has been filed by State Bank of India, it has actually taken ABG Shipyard to the NCLT, or lenders have taken ABG Shipyard to the NCLT because it was one of the 12 large corporate accounts shortlisted by the Reserve Bank of India back in June of 2017. After this entire insolvency proceeding got over, finally in 2019 at some point, the NCLT had ordered a liquidation of the company because no real resolution was coming out. The complaint was filed by State Bank of India with the CBI in November of 2019 first. Then later in December 2020, it filed a more detailed complaint. Now, there were allegations that the banks were too slow to act in this matter. However, SBI in a statement has clarified that it wasn't slow. In fact, it has been dutifully following up with the Central Bureau of Investigation and is checking up on what exactly is happening in this account. However, the investigation is still ongoing, and we're still to see what comes out of it. Do read the story on BloombergQuint.com for a complete detailed analysis of what has happened, and do log into the website to keep track of what exactly happens with ABG Shipyard in the future. Thank you so much.